All right, this is Sheea Shafer from Maui, Hawaii, and your love, tantra, and relationship coach by phone and YouTube. Thank you for your donations so that I can continue to grow my channel and devote more time to you. And I wanted to talk about another theme that I've been kind of on lately that's just been in my awareness. So one of the things about Tantra that's awesome is that it addresses things like erectile dysfunction and premature ejaculation, and it definitely helps, I guess I'm seeing it more as like kind of getting men on board with true intimacy. Obviously women need that too at times. I feel like less so, but I'm certainly seeing it more and more where women are needing help now too, just because we've been through so much trauma sexually usually. But at any rate, it gets us on board with sacred sexuality, the way it was designed, so that you can be in tune with the true design of sexuality, not the cultural version of it, not the religious version of it, not the bogus dysfunctional porn version of it, because that will lead you astray. Tantra is the real deal. So if you want to be deep and you want to be the best lover, there's no way around it. It's through Tantra. So, and what's fascinating about this is that's what the Magdalenes were. So we're usually familiar with Mary Magdalene, who was a tantrika of the highest order. She was not a prostitute. That's an example of like male dominant culture slashing the woman's identity, and of course they're just going to call her a prostitute, you know, but they were actually afraid of her power because she was the divine equivalent of Jesus, and she was Jesus's partner. And at that time, women were kind of more like seen, not heard, and so they were kind of more underground with their skills. But there was this whole Magdalene's mystery school that existed at that time, and she's probably the most famous one of them. But all of Jesus's entourage was trained like this in this mystery school, which was connected with the Essenes. And you know, that's where Avalon comes from, because we've heard about Magdalene's presence there. They were also near Wales and worked with the Celtic people and the Druids, and they also had one, of course, in the Holy Land, which was Mount Carmel. And they ended up establishing one in Scotland as well, where they had a big gathering towards the end of Jesus's ministry. So anyway, that's what the Magdalenes are. They're tantrikas, and it's men and women. And so dakini is another word for someone like myself who's highly trained in Tantra, and then adaka is the male version. So all of Jesus's disciples, family, extended family, they were all trained this way. They had a particular Essene lifestyle. They were very advanced in their abilities, you know, like having superpowers, kind of like quantum physics abilities. They went through so many initiations starting at a young age, and included in Egypt is another one I forgot to mention, because the pyramids have a big part in those initiations, and that was all started by Isis. And which, you know, when Egypt was a really highly developed, advanced golden age, she's the one that led her people. They lived, you know, an ideal version of life, of abundance and everyone's needs being met, and understanding spirituality in life on a much higher level than we've got right now. You know, similar to like Lemuria and the age of Atlantis and whatnot. So anyway, what was I getting to? Oh yeah, so I was talking about the Magdalenes, and by the way, if you want to learn more about this, because it is quite fascinating, this information was channeled through the books. So Anna, grandmother of Jesus, as well as Anna, the voice of the Magdalenes, goes into all of this, their lifestyle. You know, a lot of it's historic, and they've got lineages and family trees and everything that documents places and people. And I had no idea that Jesus had such an extensive network of support. It's just something else. And you know, even locationally, they were in India getting initiations from Babaji, and it's just, I don't know, I just find it fascinating. So those books are worth getting if you're into it. And it's mostly Anna, grandmother of Jesus, that's sharing in that first one. And then the second one is the different family members within Jesus's lineage, all sharing bits and pieces themselves and having with their own voice instead of just Anna's. And there's a certain initiation that comes through those kind of books too, because I felt Anna with me ever since. And there's a certain comfort in having that, especially because I don't really have a mom that I'm close with or grandparents anymore. So to have that spiritual backup, I really feel the presence of Anna, as well as Sophia, which is the original mother god that comes from the Sophia code, which is what I'm reading now, which, wow, powerful initiations I'm getting from that. That one will blow you away. You have to have time to assimilate those ones. So anyway, one of the things I wanted to bring up that might kind of reach you guys a little bit more as far as your understanding of how, so you can just kind of maybe have compassion in regards to women and what we go through sexually. Oh, it's so much harder for us, I'll tell you, because, you know, if I was a guy and I was guaranteed that I would orgasm whenever I would engage with a woman, you know, the way most of you are rigged, it would be so much easier and more fun and easygoing. But women were so much more complicated, and I don't think it really would be if we felt safe and if we felt like the proper channels were being addressed and things were paced properly, and if we really felt honored, you know, it would just unfold beautifully like it's meant to. But so often we're like bulldozed by testosterone energy and just men who, you know, are just unconscious in that area of their lives, I guess, and not very well trained or educated, or don't know how to be with a woman. So this is one way to put it. If you were to ask most women, hey, would you open yourself sexually and be willing to have intercourse with a guy who only lasted 15 minutes? Most of them would say, no thanks. So if we're going to go through the whole ordeal that we go through with our hearts and our minds, the risks we take as women to open our bodies to you, if you only last 15 minutes, it is so not worth it to us. Now, you may get a couple takers who, out of desperation or whatever their deal is, hopefully they're not sexually addicted, so they'll just take it anyway. Most women, if you told her up front, I only last about 15 minutes and then it's over, she would say, nah, I'll pass, you know, because I'm used to having someone who can last twice that long or 3 times that long. And it's not like, guys, you don't have to be like at it hard and heavy, you know, like you're doing a workout that whole time. It's not like that, you know. Hopefully there's foreplay and kissing and sharing and, you know, all that involved in it so that you're building the energy and subside.